Yo, 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 it's your boy Mark Goodman, aka the voice box of the block. I'm back with another one. You know, I'm hopping in the window like, bro, man, what's happening? Good afternoon. This is gonna be exciting in more ways than one. I'm back with a super duper one right here, man. We're gonna switch it up. We're talking sports. We're talking big sports with my main man, Tory Dandy, co-head of
What's
CAA
up? What's
Sports,
up?
the number one sports agency in the game. What's going on, TD?
Man, I'm blessed, brother. Man, good to finally get on with you, man, and kick it a little bit. Proud of you, man, what you're doing. I've been seeing what you've been doing. So it's great to get on with you, man, and chop it up.
Don't do me like that. Don't do me like
Nah,
that.
for real. Woodruff all day, man. Represent.
You the motivation. You the motivation, man. You started everything, man. You started my engine running, man. Watching you succeed, I'm such a blessing, highly favored having you on, taking the time up top with the good guy. For those you don't know, man, this is Tory Dandy, man, the sports agency, the man with the keys to the city. I mean, what else can I say, man? I mean, under 40, all the awards, man, all the first round draft picks coming around, man. You represented Sammy Watkins, Alshon Jeffrey, Lattimore. I mean, more and more. What can I say, man? How does it feel being a representative of all these great talents coming through the NFL?
Man, at first, Mark, man, it was one of those things. I was just grinding, man. I was just grinding. And all my boys used to be like, hey, T, what does it feel like? And it was just like, dude, I'm not caught up in that. It's no different from somebody being a school teacher or a doctor, a lawyer or a nurse or whatever. It was just, this is my job. This is what I do. I think we're probably within the last couple of years when I became partner at CAA and got some equity in the company and continued to do like some big deals, it kind of sat in like, dude, you're doing some special stuff out here. Really? And so I kind of allowed me to sit back and reflect like, this is different, man. This is special. And so probably within the last couple of years that I really started feeling that kind of way. Other than that, man, I was just grinding, man, just grinding.
And I'm glad you said reflecting. And speaking of reflecting, man, we come from the same small town of Woodruff, South Carolina, and growing up. Has sports kind of been always in your life growing up as a kid?
Yeah, shoot, being in Pine Ridge and Keller Acres and Mill Hill, man, running around, playing football, baseball, basketball. Like, that's what we do down there, man, to play sports. And so I've always been an avid lover of the game, of, all the sports, tell you the truth, man, really baseball, football, and basketball. So, yeah, man, as long as I can remember, knee high, that's all I ever did was play sports year round. I didn't know no break was. There was no time off. And one sport, it was you played 3 or 4 sports down in Woodruff, man, for sure.
Right. I mean, you had ups and downs, obviously, because during your high school career, you dealt with a lot of injuries. I mean, you went under the great Willie Varner, right? You went under some tough practice, wasn't?
Oh man, listen, Coach Varner, man, rest in peace. Man, it was crazy. Being a 2A high school, you scrimmaging and playing in Jamboree, Lawrence, and Spartan High, and you playing Clinton and Union and Greer. I'm talking about all those teams won state championships back then.
Right.
Some real balls being played, and we play on Friday night, man, and we got to go get up and practice on Saturday morning. It was like football was year round in Woodruff, man. There was no breaks, man. Coach Varner, you hit pads every day.
Every day.
Man. So I tore my rotator, man, in my shoulder my junior year, and it kept popping out of place. And I actually tore this one in college. So I tore both of my shoulders up. So, man, I definitely got some battle wounds. I'm glad I'm on the other side of the fence now. I don't have to put the pads on. I can just negotiate the contracts, man, and be a part of the game.
And that's exactly what I was wanting to talk to you about, because a lot of people deal with injuries in football, things of that nature. They turn to like coaching. They go to coaching or something like that. What kind of led you to being a sports agent? Was anything that you seen, or was it something that just dawned upon you?
Yeah, and that's a great question because, growing up, man, in Woodruff, we never heard of a sports agent. We
not
really
no black one anyway.
And, you see the NFL, but we didn't know if it was real or not. And so I never had a dream or aspiration about being an agent. I never knew an agent even existed. What happened was my junior year in college, I got hurt. And I started doing research, and then one of my former teammates back then was getting recruited by agents in college. And he kind of just told me about the process, what was going on. I actually sat through some meetings with him when he was interviewing agents. And I was like, man, this is very interesting. This is intriguing. So my senior year, I didn't play college football. And I was more like a student coach or whatever you want to call it. And so I really just started digging in because at the time I thought I was going to be maybe an athletic director.
Right.
Or even maybe a college coach one day.
Right.
And I just started doing more research on the agent business. And I was like, you know what? This is intriguing, man.
Right.
And so I did an internship when I was getting my master's degree. I did an internship with a smaller agency. And that's how I got into it, man. So I'll be here lying to you and the audience out there if I said I knew in high school, I knew in college I wanted to be, an NFL agent. That was my aspirations. No, I fell into it. And I fell in love with it. And here I am. Over 20 years later, I'm still here.
Yes. And I was reading your story, man, and you talked about a wonderful, wonderful person who helped you on your journey. And I want you to speak on, rest in peace, Eugene Parker. And he was your man. He was your father. You talked about him a lot, and he helped you on your journey. And I want to talk. I want you to speak on him and how he was as a person and what he meant to you while you was on your journey to the top.
Yeah. So Eugene Parker, man, he's considered in the Mount Rushmore NFL agents, all agents.
You know what? After studying you, I studied him, and I was like, wow. Yeah. Some of the people he represented, yes.
Yeah, I mean, like Deion Sanders, his whole career, football and baseball, Emmitt Smith, Curtis Martin, Derrick Brooks, Larry Fitzgerald. I mean, the list goes on, the guys Eugene represented.
Amazing.
And I was fortunate enough to meet Eugene when I was doing an internship with another company. And I met Mr. Parker, man, and Eugene, and got his number at the seminar, got a card from him. And I blew him up. I blew him up about three or four months, just blowing him up, email calling him. And finally, man, he responded back and he said, "Hey, Tory," he said, "Young man, I like how you've been persistent." He said, "A lot of people, young people these days, they want stuff instantaneously." He said, "But how far are you from Atlanta, Georgia?" I said, "I'm about 2.5 hours," because I was in Greenville at the time, getting my MBA, my master's degree. And he said, "Let's do lunch." And so I drove down to, hold on one second. Okay. I drove down to Atlanta and sat down with Eugene, and we hit it off. And we had conversations about an hour and a half. He never offered me an opportunity. We just talked about life. He was trying to get to know me, what motivated me, what drove me, what inspired me. And I was looking at it like, dude, you motivate me. You inspired me because I read about you and who you were, especially being a black man, a black executive as well. And months and months later, the firm that I was at had some issues internally, and they decided to shut the doors on the firm. And I was kind of on the outside looking in on the streets, basically.
Wow.
And I didn't know anybody else in the business. And coming from South Carolina, especially from Woodruff, we don't know no other agents to call. And so the only agent that I knew, and I still didn't know him, was Eugene Parker.
Right.
And I kept emailing and calling him. And finally he said, hey, Tory, let's get together again. We got together 2 more times after that. And the third time we got together, he said, hey, man, I've been doing this for 20-something years at a high level. I'm very cautious and protective about how my brand and my name. He said, but it's something about your spirit, man. I want to give you opportunity. And that's what he did. He gave me opportunity. My first 2 clients was first and second round pick in the NFL draft. And from there, man, my career snowball took off for me. Me and Eugene represented a lot of top players in the first round. A lot of record-breaking deals. We worked together for almost 13, 14 years before he passed away, man. So I got to pay much respect to Eugene Parker. I would not be even close to where I'm at. Probably not even in the business still. It went for Eugene Parker. So certainly, he was my biggest advocate, biggest leader, provider when it comes to this side of the business to get me where I'm at in this space.
Yes, being a family and having those relationships and bonds. And speaking of those bonds with your clients, you always speak on it's deeper than the game. What did that mean when you one of the people you represent your clients hear that? What did that mean? What are you trying to say?
all about relationship.
Mm.
You know, you do you do a contract, right? And a player might be locked up in the contract for 3, 4, 5, 6 years. What other value are you bringing to that young man than just doing that contract? And so for me, man, sometimes I could be a father figure, I could be a big brother figure, I could be a confidant, I could be a counselor at times. They could be a counselor for me at times. I mean, just having that real bond, that real relationship that goes way beyond just the football game.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, we don't know if the game's gonna be, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I done been best man in some of my clients' weddings.
Yes.
I done been to baby showers. I done been to family barbecues. I mean, like, that is just who I am. So
Right.
I don't take the Woodruff side of me is still in me. And you know how we like to get together with family and break
Yeah.
bread and have a good time. I'm saying with my clients and their families. And so what I mean by that is that bond is deeper than just you going out there scoring a touchdown and getting an interception, getting a sack or blocking or whatever you're doing. When the game is over with, I'm still going to be there to pick the phone up when you have the rough days as well,
Right.
and be there when things ain't going right. I want to be one of your biggest cheerleaders, but also I'm going to be there. You need to shoulder the crowd, man, because at the end of the day, man, you got to think these brothers been playing this game and been the best since they've been in Pop Warner.
Exactly.
And a lot of them ain't used to adverse situations.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you something. And I used to criticism through social media.
Mm-hmm.
Do you kind of help them deal with that? Because a lot of times that was kind of I guess the biggest impact versus back then now, because a lot of people get to hear and see criticism more than they now than ever. So do you kind of guide them in dealing with social media at all?
Yeah, I definitely tell them. I'm going through that right now with some of my guys. I tell them, you can never win an argument through social media. All right. And everybody gonna have an opinion. You can't get caught up in that. And so Charlie, hard as it is, you got to kind of stay clear of that. Don't even try to pay attention to it. Don't look at it or whatever. But if you even look at it, just understand that people are gonna talk about you, man. That's just a part of life. But you cannot win. You got to protect your brand as well. You got a brand. And so you got to look at what are you putting out there on social media as well.
Exactly. And I think that's the type of guidance. And that's what I was wondering when it comes to being the agent. What type of bond do you have with your players? Is it just money, or do you have a serious family relationship with these guys? Because it lasts a very long time. Some of these contracts and some of these people way outside of when they retire, I'm assuming.
Yeah, no question, man. I mean, I got clients that haven't played in the NFL in a few years now. We brothers. When I'm with the family, I'm in it for life, and so we from the same hometown. I brought a lot of my clients down to Woodruff.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And hung out with us and
absolutely great time.
Signed autographs and did all that. So I think that really shows transparently the relationship I have with my guys and how that bond is deeper than the game.
Absolutely. And speaking of that, we talk about these contracts and these guaranteed monies. I always commend you because you've always been able to give these clients the maximum guarantee. When you give that, how did that feel? How did that feel knowing that you have helped someone? Is this like your Super Bowl? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, and each negotiation has its own space. And so, it's certainly gratifying, man, to know where that young man comes from, his background, what he's been through, what the family been through. Then all of a sudden now get on the other side of that financial freedom, I call it. No, it's definitely, man, my Super Bowl. And so each one of them is very special.
Speaking of where we come from, this is kind of on the pot of my head. We're talking about a Super Bowl. Your very first Super Bowl you went to, how was that feeling?
Oh man, it's crazy, man. Because, like I said, for a number of years, even when I got into the business early on, I wasn't going to Super Bowls. I would just go work or whatever the case might be. Eugene didn't go to a lot of games, and that wasn't his thing. So I didn't go to games. And so, but when I first went to the first Super Bowl, it was like, wow, like this is like the bucket list, like of the bucket list. And especially being a young man from Woodruff, South Carolina, to be able to be there, and you so used to watching it, you know, with your friends and family at home, having a Super Bowl party, but now you in the Super Bowl and you got clients in the Super Bowl and being a part of it. Like when the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl a few years ago,
it's crazy.
I held the Lombardi, I held the trophy.
That's what I was saying. Like when we come from, you holding the trophy, man. That was like must have been like over a bucket list, over a dream come true. Like you couldn't even imagine in that space, man, and that feeling, man. I think that's a blessing, man. And speaking of those moments, man, what are some of the most memorable moments on your journey, as you could say?
I would say
I'm gonna tell you one. The picture with Michael Jordan. That was
oh yeah. See, dude, crazy story. Crazy story. So that has to be at the top. I'm gonna tell you what happened. So Alshon Jeffrey, both Adidas and Brand Jordan was coming at him to try to, you know, to be like the apparel sneaker, you know, for him. And so Adidas had a big offer on the table. Jordan had a lot less money on the table. That's kind of what Jordan does, Brand Jordan, because so many guys want to be with them. Yeah. And Adidas offered all this money. Alshon was like, no, I want to be with Brand Jordan. And so what Jordan does every year around All-Star Weekend, he has his birthday party. Right. And I think this was maybe his 50th birthday party. Yeah, yeah. And I want to say it was in New York. It was in New York. Alshon got an invite, and they said he could bring one person. Yeah. And so I said, you know who that one person got to be. And so we get to the party. I mean, there's everybody in there. Oprah. Ooh. I mean, Chris Paul. Wow. I mean, Magic Johnson. Wow. You know, Spike Lee. It was Beyonce, Jay-Z. I mean, it was ridiculous, man. and so everybody waiting. They got cocktail hours, so everybody having a couple of drinks and appetizers, whatever. And then Michael Jordan walks in. Yeah, and everybody just stops. Whatever celebrity you could name, the biggest celebrity just stopped. Everybody was just staring at Michael Jordan. So Alshon's rep from Brand Jordan was like, Alshon, I want to introduce you to Michael Jordan. So Alshon got kind of like a shy personality. He was like, nah, I'm fine. I'm like, no, we going over to meet Michael Jordan. And so Michael Jordan has been notoriously known that he don't like to take pictures with especially with other men. Like he don't like that. And so when the party was packed and he walking in, so they bring Alshon over, we go over. And so Jordan goes up to Alshon, gives him love. He has his wife, Michael Jordan has his wife right there with him. So I spoke to her real briefly. So when Alshon was going to give her a hug, I nudged Jordan on the side. Yeah. And I said, if he tell me to go kick rocks, at least I ain't gonna get embarrassed. People ain't gonna see it. So when I nudged him, the first thing I did was I threw the hooks up because he was cute. Yeah. So that at least dropped his guard down. Yeah. So I threw it up. I said, what's up, Jordan, man? Threw it up. I said, I'm Alshon's agent. I said, and I live in Charlotte because, you know, he owns the Hornets. It makes sense. And so I hit him quick. Q, I'm Alshon's agent, and I live in Charlotte. So I hit him with 3 major things that quick. Yeah. And I said, can I get a picture? He said, make it real quick. So I gave Alshon the camera. Here, man. So Alshon, I said, you cannot tell Michael Jordan, let's do a do-over picture. Yeah. I'm like, it gotta be right. Yeah. You can't say, let me brighten the screen, let me put the flash on. Come on. And so I got my picture. I got my picture, man. And the rest of the night, Alshon was like, man, like, dang, why I ain't get my picture? I'm like, I know guys that been with Brand Jordan for a long time, never got a chance to take a picture with the man. I believe it. And so to have that picture, man, is like that's like the top of the list. Can't get no better. You can't get no better. Exactly. With the GOAT. I mean, so he got to be hands down, man.
I want to move on, talk about something that I noticed special. The Tory Dandy Foundation. You do a lot. You do a lot, man. For the community of Woodruff. I know some other areas too, man. Talk about that foundation, bro.
Yeah, man. It's near and dear to me. I hope and wish that I could do a lot more and be more hands-on with it, and that happened over time. But about 9 or 10 years ago, I started the Tory Dandy Foundation, and what I wanted to do was more really just get back to my hometown. And that just started, first of all, with a scholarship. Yeah. You know, I did the event down there, bring the clients in town. We did the event and all that. And then, you know, just recently, man, outside of doing the scholarship and just regularly giving back, when I got the keys to the city in 2020. Yeah. And I got the keys to the city and from Spartanburg and Woodruff, and got the proclamation to the county of Spartanburg. I was like, you know what more can I do, you know, outside of just doing the scholarship? And so that's when I decided last year to, donate and give $100,000 back to the community. So I'm giving $50,000 to Woodruff and giving another $50,000 to Spartanburg, man. And I want what it is geared towards just really taking my foundation and partnering with the city for youth, so youth programs. Right. And so that's what I'm about, man. Because I know, you know, I don't come from, you know, I come from a single parent home, you know, and so I know what it's like to be that young man, to have dreams and goals and aspirations. But sometimes you don't see it around you. You don't think it's real. You don't think it's true.
Not at all. Don't Michael Jordan come from where we come from. We didn't see none of that.
Yeah. And then I just think about, like, you know, even, you know, going to Admin Gym back then and just having those youth programs back then. And I just don't see a lot of that going on.
You're absolutely right.
I can't save everybody, but at least I can give my piece of what I can and willing to. It's a motto called, you know, lifting as you climb. And so as you climb, you should want to lift up, not just look down on somebody. You should be want to lift up. And so that's what it's about, man. Just want to get back to at-risk youth, underprivileged youth, in whatever way I can. And so as I continue to grow more and do more, that's what I want to do.
Absolutely, man. I can't thank you enough for bringing that love home. And one thing about you that I noticed, you're very genuine. You come home a lot. You come home a lot, you move around, you talk to your family a lot. And a lot of times you come home, you know, you have these family members, you got hidden obligations. How do you deal with people calling, hey, Tory, boy, I need something, boy. Oh, boy, Tory, boy, I know you got it. Like they count your pockets. Because you know how we come from a small town, man. How do you deal with it? Me, I would just stay away. But you was very genuine. You come home a lot and you be able to, I see you just be able to compartmentalize a lot of things. And just so, but how do you deal with that?
Yeah, man, I think I just look at it like this, Mark. Like, I haven't changed who I am, right, to the core. I have, of course, elevated myself and what I do and all that, and matured a lot, for sure. But family is everything to me, you know, and my hometown, being at home, that keeps me humble, keep me rooted. Every time I come home, I drive through Kell Acres, I drive through Pine Ridge, I drive through Snow Mill and the Mill Hill every time I come home, because I just still want to get that feel of it, you know, and just be around family. And then when it comes to, like, you know, expectations and people want stuff and all that.
The one you come out of nowhere, like, I didn't even know you knew me, you know?
And so, like I tell my clients, you know, you do what you can and you do what you can for the ones that you love and you feel like you want to do something for. But understand this, if you give a person $5, they're going to think you're supposed to give them 10. If you give them 100, they're going to think you're supposed to give them 200. If you gave them 1,000, they think you're supposed to get 2,000. If you gave them 5,000, they think you're supposed to get 10,000. So you could never give a person who really ain't doing it genuinely, give them enough. People going to talk about you when you got money. People going to talk about you when you're broke. I'd rather than talk about me and I have money, right? And so that's kind of my mindset is, man, that I would do what I feel comfortable doing and do it who I feel comfortable doing it for.
Absolutely.
But understanding as well, like, you know, I got a life and a lifestyle, but also I got to think about retirement and how I want that to look as well.
Absolutely.
And all that comes into play. And so I got a family, I got a daughter, you know, and so, yeah, so I got to make sure she good, you know, and all that as well. So that's kind of how I approach it, man. I'm always going to be me, and I always have been me. And, you know, people that really know me, like, know that even back then, like, I always been tight on some money and on a budget and all that, you know. But I don't mind showing some love, having a good time and all that. But it's just one of those things get taken advantage of too.
Absolutely. And that forces a lot of people to stay away. And that's why I was,
you
know what I'm saying? And that's why I was thinking about you, how you still come home and still be genuine about it, man, and being a blessing to the community as a whole. And we want to appreciate you with that, brother.
Appreciate y'all.
And moving right along, man. This is, you know, the Good Guy Podcast, and it is based off informative information, man. So if there's somebody that's watching this that's young and want to be an agent, what are some of the key things or some of the tools that you can give them? Like maybe like 2 or 3 informative information that you can give them.
Well, I would definitely say this, whether it's being an agent or whether it is whatever other profession it is out there, you got to have goals. You got to believe, you got to have goals, you got to have a vision. And it's one of the things where I say, don't be a daydreamer. Some people dream, but they really daydream. Like meaning that they just sit there and wonder with their mind what they really want to do, but there's no action to that. I call that daydreaming. Like if you're going to dream, be a doer. Right. A doer is somebody that's going to seek out the information and the knowledge to get where they want to go and put that work in. Right. And understand this, it's not going to come overnight. You know, people see me in this light now and this big stage and what I'm doing and success and the money and all that. But I've been doing this for like 20 years.
Absolutely.
I started as an intern, you know, making no money, you know, until I got to this place. And so understand this, along the road, it's going to be some trials and tribulations. It's going to be some bumps and bruises. It's going to be some detours, whatever. But you got to understand, even if it's a detour, right? If you're on the expressway, you're on the highway, and they said detour I-85 got to go here, right? You're going to detour, but you're going to get back on I-85. Some people detour instead of just going back the other way. They going home. They going, it's too far out or whatever. Instead of just keeping that focus and having that mindset. That's why the motto I always had was faith, focus, finish.
Absolutely.
You got to have faith. You got to have faith in whatever you're doing and believing in.
Absolutely.
You got to have focus because it's life. Stuff gonna happen. It ain't gonna never be easy. So you gotta have faith. You gotta stay focused, and then ultimately you gotta finish, man. So many people did today, whether it's young people or older people, man. When one thing happened wrong, or the naysayer happened, or just comes up or whatever, they just automatically throw the towel in.
Totally.
And so you never know. Your breakthrough could be really right around the corner. If you just push through a little further, a little harder, that breakthrough is right there. But you never know it if you throw the towel in.
Man, that's deep, man. That's so deep, and that's true, man. And we want to thank you so much for taking the time out to talk about this, man. We really, really appreciate it, Tory Dandy, man. Is there anything else you want to tell the viewers and leave them with, man?
No, I would definitely say, man, I appreciate you, what you're doing, and platform that you allow, people to come on and have some real conversations. To my hometown of Woodruff, South Carolina, is always love, ain't nothing but love everywhere I rep. No matter what city I'm in or what country I'm in, I'm from Woodruff, South Carolina through and through, no matter what. And like I said, out there, whatever you're doing, whatever you got going on in life, I mean, whether you're down right now, you up right now, you can easily come down, all right? You can easily go up. Stay humble along the way, stay faithful along the way. Stay in the word and grind and go get it. Because guess what? It's out here to go get, man. And so I'm gonna go get mine. I'm gonna go get mine. But definitely, and keep the naysayers and the negativity and the distractions. Keep that away from you, man. Be around positive, influential people that can pour real stuff into you, like some different stuff.
Absolutely.
So that would be my biggest thing is, hey, look at your circle. Look at the circle. What are they bringing to your life? What positivity?
I always say association brings on similarities.
No doubt.
You gotta be careful who you associate yourself with, and you might need to associate yourself with the company that you want to become. And this podcast allows me to associate myself with some wonderful people. It allows me to chat with some wonderful people like yourself. And it's building. It is building. Absolutely hard work, and hard work comes from understanding your direction that you want to go. And I'm excited, man. I'm excited to talk to you. And it's good to see you. Last time I saw you was a couple of Christmases ago. You know what I mean? You wanted to go out. I was still on the curfew. Hey, that is what it is. Yeah. Maybe next time. But listen, man, next time you come down, holler at me, man. We're going to have a good time, man. I always love seeing you. Tell your moms and everybody I say hello. Man, thank you so much for stopping, talking to the good guy. It's nothing but love. It's your boy, Mark Goodman, a.k.a. the voice box of the block, and we out.
See y'all, man.
No matter the topic, whatever it is, then you know that we got you. We spread all the knowledge. We talk about politics, even the gossip. You can hear us on Spotify or tune in to YouTube. You even can watch us. I know we got haters. I can promise you one thing that we never stopping. It's the Good Guy Podcast. I ain't bragging, but we are the greatest. It's the Good Guy Podcast.